What is going on, everybody? This is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74 back with another video. Today we're going to react to another Wrestling Games video that titled the WWE in the summer of 2008 was awesome. In my opinion, 2008 is my personal favorite year of WWE. You know, the WWE in 2008 was really good. It was one of the greatest. Like from the amazing matches to that. In my personal favorite WrestleMania 24. The awesome Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels feud, my personal favorite feud of all time, Show's Kiss, and also Jeff Hardy's rise to be WWE champion at Armageddon, and also the Undertaker Edge, but Undertaker Edge's feud was really good. You know, but Batista. And also with Flair's retirement. We're not gonna get into what happened next with Flair. So let's keep with Flair's retirement in 2008 just like that. So yeah, the 2008 WWE was really good. So we're gonna get into this video right here. If this is your first time, this is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. Without further ado, let's get into this.
The summer of 2024 is almost over, and the WWE has had a pretty wild summer. From the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud to Roman Reigns returning to Cena announcing his retirement plans, the summer of 2024 is definitely going down in the history books. Over the past 20 years of me being a wrestling fan, there have been a lot of memorable summers in the world of wrestling. But I feel like everyone has that one summer though. That one summer where life was good and wrestling for them just happened to be hitting on another level. And that summer for me was the summer of 2008 in the WWE. In the summer of 2008, the WWE produced some of the funnest 4 months of wrestling I have ever seen. From weddings to wrestlers going blind to dream matches to money giveaways, just straight nonsense and everything in between, the summer of 2008 in the WWE holds a special place in my heart. It has been 16 long years since this magical time, and with another summer coming to an end, I thought, why not go back and relive a magical summer from when I was 9 years old? I thought, why not relive my favorite summer in WWE history? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the summer of 2008 in the WWE and all of its awesomeness. 16 years later, let's get into it. We begin on June 1st, 2008, which just happened to be the night that WWE One Night Stand was held.
This here is actually a really great pay-per-view. It's actually one of the most underrated pay-per-views of all time. Like, I personally enjoyed it too. Like, this pay-per-view was really good. You know, Edge and Undertaker in a TLC match. You also got that Jeff Hardy with Monica False Count Anywhere match was really good. The Singapore Kane match was pretty fun. Batista and Shawn Michaels that structure match was really good. Was really good as well. So I really enjoyed this pay-per-view as well. So this is actually a really good pay-per-view.
To this day, this is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated cards ever.
Yes.
And as someone who was 9 years old at the time, this card was genuinely a 9-year-old's wet dream. See, every single match in this show had a stipulation. False Count Anywhere, Singapore Kane match, First Blood match, I Quit match, Stretcher match, my parents fighting over the finances match, Scotty match, and a TLC match as the main event. Yo, when a show had that many stipulation matches, you were kind of obligated to ask your mom at least once to order the show. But now this show was awesome. I mean, when you have Jeff Hardy sliding on handrails and
that was cool. That was cool too. That was cool.
You possibly need. This show set up the summer perfectly and let everyone know off rip that it was going to be a hot summer. On this night, Jeff Hardy went nuts and continued his rise throughout 2008. John Cena had yet to be turned into a cartoon character, was out here making JBL bleed. Triple H and Orton had a little last man standing match for the title where Randy legitimately got injured. When he got hurt, the entire summer. Adding a few more extreme matches, it was a great time. But there were two big things that went down on this show that set in motion the biggest moments of the summer that were ahead of us. First off, on this night, Batista took on Shawn Michaels in a stretcher match. Now I know, that doesn't really sound like a real match. Like, no way that actually happened. But no, it did. And we didn't know at the time, but this match was a part of the prelude to one of the greatest rivalries ever. See, before One Night Stand, earlier in 2008, Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair at WrestleMania. This made Ric Flair's good friend Batista very angry at Shawn Michaels, and Batista challenged Shawn Michaels to a match at
Now this feud right here between Batista and Shawn Michaels was really good as well. You know, Batista was getting revenge on Shawn Michaels for retiring with Flair WrestleMania 24. He was really pissed off at Shawn Michaels for not doing the right thing, and Shawn Michaels was telling Batista, "You have done the same thing as well. In your world, Dave, you have done the same thing." So they were really like hating each other. The feud was really good. I really enjoyed this feud.
at Backlash. Batista ended up losing that match to Michaels because in the match, HBK faked an injury, caught Batista off guard, and boom, 1, 2, 3. Now in that match at Backlash, Chris Jericho was actually the referee, and once that happened, let's just say Jericho took what he saw very personally. Jericho was offended that his old hero would do that he would stoop to such a low level and do something like fake an injury just for a meaningless win. He couldn't believe it, and the resentment between Jericho and Shawn slowly started building from then on. But going back to One Night Stand, it was the end of the Batista and HBK feud, and in a stretcher match, Batista got his revenge on Shawn, and he destroyed him. He killed him. During the match, Jericho actually came out to quote-unquote cheer on his hero, but instead he just saw his hero get destroyed. Batista won the match at One Night Stand, Shawn Michaels got clapped, and Jericho was just there disappointed in the man who he once looked up to becoming such a pathetic loser. So the Batista feud was officially over for Shawn, but the Jericho one was just beginning. And the other huge thing that went down in this show was the main event. The Undertaker vs. Edge in a TLC match. After almost a year-long rivalry, after a WrestleMania main event classic, here they were again. In a TLC match, it was the main event of One Night Stand. The slimy, disgusting Edge taking on the Undertaker for the vacant world title. Edge at this point was basically the devil on SmackDown. He was Satan's greatest soldier. He was running SmackDown at the point. He was hooking up with the general manager, Vicky Guerrero. He had his own little gang and everything. And the only person who could save us and stop him was the Undertaker.
Yeah. Edge and Undertaker's feud in 2008 was, in my opinion, the second best feud of 2008. Behind and in front right in front of them is Jericho and Shawn Michaels. But the Undertaker Edge's feud in 2008 was very special. You know, it started, like he said, it started as a year-long rivalry where Edge, where Edge cashed in his Money in the Bank on The Undertaker. Edge won the Money in the Bank from Mr. Kennedy on Raw because Mr. Kennedy got injured and he had to take some time off. So Edge beat him and won the briefcase. He cashed in on SmackDown and cashed in on The Undertaker, who by the way got the Blue Steel Cage match. He spills The Undertaker not once but twice, becomes a World Heavyweight Champion, and then we go into 2008. And Edge was doing everything in his power to defeat The Undertaker, to get into his head, and he sent Edge heads around. I mean, he was doing everything to get inside The Undertaker's head. So that feud in 2008 was really special.
Not only was this match crazy hype because TLC matches are awesome, they had a crazy stipulation for this one. If Taker lost the match, he was going to be forced to leave the WWE, and as you could probably guess, that being a possibility had every kid stressing. But I was like, nah, no way Taker loses, right? No way he loses to that dumbass Edge and he leaves the company. That's impossible. Right?
Yes.
What a way to start off the summer. Edge was champion again and had little fighting back tears. Undertaker was banished from the company. Randy Orton was legit injured. John Cena was a savage again. Jeff Hardy was jumping up shit again. And the HBK and Jericho feud was about to explode. And after this, the product got hot. During the summer, every single Monday Night Raw and SmackDown was must-watch TV. Shit, they even had me watching ECW every now and then. Every week, every show just had shit going down. The very next night of Raw, after One Night Stand, we got to watch a dream match for the first and last time ever. We got John Cena versus Jeff Hardy in the number one contenders match in the main event of Raw. Before Rock versus Cena, this was a true once-in-a-lifetime match. I still remember just how massive this match felt to us kiddos at the time. And low-key, when Cena got the win, I was kind of sad. I was really hoping that Jeff would win and get that title shot, but it was fine. His time was coming. Jericho officially turned heel a few weeks after the show after asking HBK to his face, how did Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest performers of all time, turn into such a lying, cheating, pathetic little worm of a man?
This right here, this feud right here, this segment right here, the highlight reel, started off, in my opinion, the best feud of 2008. Like, in my personal favorite feud right here. Like Jericho, like he said, how does Shawn Michaels turn into such a whining, cheating, pathetic little worm of a human being? Attacks Shawn Michaels, they both going back and forth. He low blows Shawn Michaels, and then he grabs his face, he grabs his head. He says the worst is yet to come, and he smashed HBK to that Geratron 5000, and his eye got so messed up, and that right there kickstarted the amazing feud in 2008. One of my personal favorites.
Jericho taking Shawn and slamming his head into the Jeritron 5000 was a moment.
Yes,
it was surreal. The glass flying everywhere. Jim Ross losing his mind. HBK selling like he just lost an eye.
That was crazy. That was really crazy.
This was a moment that had everyone's jaw on the floor, and instantly, at that very moment, Jericho became the biggest heel in the wrestling world, and this became the hottest wrestling feud we had in a long time.
It did.
Every week, the feud, the shows, the product just got better and better. Jericho almost murders HBK. They had Flair come back and beef him. They had Triple H stand up for his boy, all while he was still feuding Cena. The product just was so alive at this point. It just felt so fresh. So good. Every feud and program was just cooking. And what made June 2008 even more fun was with all this chaos and everything going on, they still had their annual draft. If you remember my video from a few months ago, this draft was groundbreaking to say the least. During all this chaos, after all this beef, all this stuff is going down, we just casually had Raw staple Triple H go to SmackDown.
Yep, he did.
SmackDown's face, Batista get drafted to Raw, Jeff Hardy to SmackDown, Rey Mysterio to Raw, Jim Ross and Cole traded places.
Who remembers they traded Jim Ross from Raw to SmackDown in favor of Michael Cole going from SmackDown to Raw? I remember that. I was so PO. Like, why would you take Jim Ross away from the Monday Night Raw broadcast booth? Because he's been on Monday Night Raw for so many years, and just having to go to SmackDown, of all places, SmackDown. And Jim Ross said in an interview that he really almost quit the company because he was not told he was going to be drafted to SmackDown. And I know Jim Ross said he talked to a lot of people. He talked to Cameron Dunn. He talked to a lot of people because he was like, I don't want to be drafted. I don't want to be drafted. And pretty much Vince McMahon was like, in Vince McMahon's mind, he was like, he was like, be drafted to SmackDown. Oh, what's your him? I mean, they really did JR dirty right here. He really almost quit the company. But Jim Ross, Jim Ross, the greatest of all time. He did the absolute best. He put in the work to make SmackDown one of the most watched shows of 2008, and he did a way great job. That's why JR is the GOAT. There's no doubt about that.
And this all happened just days before their second pay-per-view of the month. Night of Champions 2008 comes, and luckily for us, no wrestler killed their family the day before, and it ended up being a pretty solid show. Edge was able to finesse the win over Batista. Cena and Triple H had a great match where Triple H got the 1-2-3, and Shawn Michaels with one eye finally returned and helped Kofi Kingston beat Jericho for the IC title. The very next night of Raw, just when June couldn't get more wild, it got more wild. So after the draft and after a few months of wrestlers just appearing everywhere and anywhere, it was time for things to settle down and the brand split to kind of get back into action. And we had this segment where Batista and Edge were in the ring. And Edge was basically saying goodbye to Batista as he was now a Raw wrestler and Edge was going to go back to SmackDown. So Batista says goodbye the only way he knows how, and that's with the Batista bomb. And with Edge laying there, slowly getting up and Batista walking away, CM Punk's music plays.
Yes.
CM Punk, who was Mr. Money the Bank at the time, fresh out of ECW, fresh out of jail, out on bail, pulls up, passes by Batista, and with the referee in hand, cashes in the Money in the Bank against Edge. Finally, thank the Lord, after 2 years of Edge using the Money in the Bank to finesse himself some world titles, after all the destruction and tragedies he committed, he finally got a taste of his own medicine, and CM Punk became the World Heavyweight Champion for the first time in his career. Before the cash-in, I remember just being so depressed when it came to Edge and SmackDown because I really thought this was going to be the summer of Edge. At this point, he had beat Taker, he banished him, he beat Batista, he had the GM on his... He was unstoppable, but the most unlikely person, CM Punk, held it down, became champion for the first time, and it was just an electric moment.
Yeah. Damn, I know. I paused it so many times, but I do apologize. But I gotta get these stories out. CM Punk winning that world title for the very first time was one of the best moments in Raw history. Like he picked the right moment, he cashed it at the right time, and he definitely picked that moment to become the World Heavyweight Champion. One of the best moments in Raw history. We're not gonna talk about his world title, his first title reign. He was basically in the mid card every single time. It was basically John Cena, Batista, JBL in the main event. So yeah, they kind of did Punk dirty after he won the world title. Thankfully, we won the briefcase the second time, and he won the world title the second time by catching on Jeff Hardy. That was the best. That was his best world title reign. His deal with Jeff Hardy, one of the best. So his second cash ins definitely one of the greatest of all time.
And I was just so happy finally seeing Edge get clapped. And yeah, June came to a close, and it was a hectic, crazy month. 2 pay-per-views, a draft, awesome matches and moments. Triple H and the WWE title was going to SmackDown. CM Punk was a world champion on Raw. Cena and Batista were now on the same show. Wait, what? HBK and Jericho were blowing up. And oh, did I mention that Mr. McMahon was giving out money on Monday Night Raw? Wait, what? Oh, and he almost died again? Meanwhile, Edge also proposed to Vicky to get married. By the end of the month, trust me, it was impossible to not be invested in the product. When I think of July 2008, there are many memories that come back to my mind, and I'm sure yours as well. I remember the episode of Raw where John Cena and Crime Time teamed up and destroyed JBL's limo. I remember Kane going nuts on the commentators. But my favorite moment, hands down my favorite moment, and the memory that sticks out the most, actually took place on an episode of SmackDown. And it's a classic moment that I vividly remember watching with my mom, actually. In July of 2008, after being together for over 8 months, Vicky Guerrero and Edge were gonna get married. The most disgusting couple of them all, the most just vomit-inducing romance we'd ever seen.
I agree.
That evil piece of shit Edge was gonna marry the general manager of SmackDown, and nobody was gonna be safe after that. Especially Little Pat. And the July 18th SmackDown was promoted as the Edge and Vicky wedding, and that was the theme of the entire show. I remember even the TV guide description for the show was Edge and Vicky Guerrero get married. Like, yeah, I was dreading this episode. I didn't want to watch this. I was praying and hoping that something would happen, that the marriage would get canceled, the ceremony would get canceled. The last time we had a wedding on SmackDown in 07, Teddy got a heart attack. I'm not gonna say it, but I think you guys know what 9-year-old Pat was hoping for. And actually, the episode of SmackDown wasn't the actual wedding. It was a wedding reception party. So for 2 hours, it was just straight disgusting videos and just a celebration of Edge and Vicky. It was too much. And like I said, it was the theme of the entire show. So like the whole show, Edge and Vicky and his boys are out there for the whole night, wilding out, having fun, having a great time. The most random matches are taking place, and the lighting's all purple, and they're just watching the whole time, smiling. They're involved in every segment. It was genuinely the worst night of my life. And I remember watching with my mom, and she was laughing the whole time. She was having a great time. She was sports entertained, laughing at my misery, but also just at how ridiculous everything was. And I was just all like, I don't want to watch this. But thankfully, with only 5 minutes left before the show went off the air, out came Triple H. And the biggest terrorist in the WWE from 2002 to 2005 came out to save us from the real terrorist. Triple H showed the world a recording of Edge cheating on Vicky with a wedding finally. Vicky going nuts and the wedding getting canceled. I literally jumped out of my seat when this went down. I went crazy. My mom was laughing. She was invested. And she was like a whatever wrestling fan, right? She wasn't a fan. She just watched every now and then with me. But even she was into this. She was laughing. She was like watching this shit like it was an Indian drama, and honestly, it was so dramatic, it basically was an Indian drama or like a telenovela. Vicky snaps, she's screaming, her screams are so loud it probably broke a glass on my house. Edge was getting clapped, and Edge's downfall continued, and it was just such a great night. I used to pray for times like this, literally, but overall, kayfabe aside, such a fun night, such an iconic memory for my childhood, watching with my mom laughing, just all the ridiculousness of it, a great moment. And as you know, after this, we got the Great American Bash, where we got Cena and JBL in a parking lot match. We got Jericho and HBK finally one-on-one, where Jericho ended up committing very violent war crimes on Shawn Michaels. After months of build, after everything, Jericho finally got his hands on
Jericho
HBK.
beat the holy crap out of
Into the
Shawn
match
Michaels.
all broken because of the Jeritron attack. You know, he wasn't exactly the same after that, and Jericho just went off. So much so that the commentary and Sean selling had me convinced that he was really going to lose his eye for real this time. I really thought after this that HBK was going to be blind. During this era, I was actually lucky enough to watch 3 pay-per-views in the summer with my friends for free. I got to watch One Night Stand, Night of Champions, and the Great American Bash for free because my neighbor actually had an illegal satellite that gave him free pay-per-view. So for the Bash, we were all at his house watching this, and we were just disgusted as little kids. We were so shook at what we were watching, and at one point, one of my friends made a little joke, like, "Oh, I see his eye, it fell out, oh my god." The match was so disturbing that the rest of us actually believed for him for a second that his eye probably did fall out. It was wild, because usually when wrestlers bled, from my memory, they still fought back, they still hulked up a little bit or whatever.
Just look at that. Just look at that. Just look at that for a second. I mean, his face was pretty much messed up. Like Jericho literally beat the holy crap out of Shawn Michaels. Like that was it was really wild. Then that's why their feud in 2008, chef's kiss, one of the best. Yeah, that face right there, that will never be the same again.
No, not here. Sean was out like a light. Jericho beat HBK so bad at the Bash '08, you would have thought the feud was over. That's how dominating it was. And fun fact, this match ended up being the match that led to Blood being banned in the WWE for 16 years. On the same night, Triple H beat Edge to retain the title, which included Edge spearing his former fiancée. Another solid pay-per-view, another solid month. Life was just good as a wrestling fan. And it was all leading, and it was all heading to August. It was all heading to SummerSlam 2008, which was supposed to be the biggest blockbuster of the summer. SummerSlam has always been the summer show. It's always been the second biggest show of the year, and sometimes even better than the biggest one. And the WWE, which was on fire in '08 at this point, really wanted SummerSlam to be special. They really wanted the show to be big again, especially after how mid the show was the year before. Please ignore them putting Khali in another title match. My brothers, I don't think words can describe how massive this felt back in the day. Looking back at it, sure, it was thrown together, it was a quick feud, whatever. But John Cena versus Batista actually happening was massive. The two faces of the generation, the two faces of the company, the two guys got cemented on the exact same night, the two faces of SPR 06 clashing in their prime as well. It was special. Tuning in every week was so fun just to see what the hell was going to happen next. You had to choose a side, and this was beef, this was war. And from them winning the tag team titles together on Raw, still beefing every week, it was such a big time match, and it was a perfect year for it. And we were getting it at SummerSlam 2008. By mid-August, Jericho had become a full-blown demon. He had sidelined HBK, who after the Bash never really showed up on Raw, and every week Jericho would just be talking all this shit. HBK was legit missing after the Bash, and the rumors that he had lost an eye among me and my friends were rampant. And it was announced at SummerSlam that Shawn Michaels was coming back, but not to wrestle, but he was coming back and making an announcement, a very important personal announcement. And after what happened at the Bash, hell yeah, I thought he was retiring. Cena versus Batista, Shawn Michaels retiring, Jeff Hardy in a US title match. That alone made SummerSlam 08 feel special enough for me, a must-watch for me, personally. And at that point, I didn't even know the main event yet. Remember how in the beginning of the video I talked about how Edge beat Taker in that TLC match and banished him from SmackDown and how it broke my heart? Well, it was time for Taker to get his lick back, and it was time for me to get my lick back. Edge losing the world title wasn't enough for me. Nah. Him getting his, relationship broken, no, that wasn't enough for me. I needed him compromised to a permanent end, and boy, was I getting it. After Edge and Vicky broke up, Edge lost his damn mind. He went full crazy, he snapped, he was crashing out like Roman Reigns stands after WrestleMania 40, and Vicky had enough. And she announced that she was bringing back The Undertaker and that Edge was going to pay for all of his sins, and he was back at SummerSlam 2008. That alone was awesome. That was great. Fantastic. But it got even better because she announced that it was going to be a Hell in a Cell match. 2 months after the heartbreak of One Night Stand, the Dead Man was back, and it was going to be a Hell in a Cell match. In a time where Hell in a Cell matches were still special before they were ruined and just held to be held, this was a special time. This feud deserved it. And it was a pay-per-view seller. You bought a pay-per-view. You wanted to watch one because there was a Hell in a Cell match on it. And Edge was finally going to pay for his sins. I remember the night of SummerSlam 08 vividly. This night was special. See, by this show, my neighbor's illegal satellite was actually blocked, so the run of free pay-per-views was over. So we had to pay for the show. And of course, I had the one mom in the neighborhood who would actually pay for fake wrestling every now and then. Thankfully, she did. Because not only did Cena and Batista tear that house down in a match that all of us kids used to dream about, not only did Chris Jericho end up crashing Shawn Michaels' retirement announcement and ended up punching his wife, but the other...
Dude. When Chris Jericho punched Shawn Michaels' wife for real, I was like, oh my God. Like he literally knocked her out for real. I'm just like, whew. Dang, and Chris Jericho did say in the interview that was not meant to happen. That was not supposed to be a real punch. But he did send Shawn Michaels' wife Rebecca, which that's her name, Rebecca. He was able to send some flowers as an apology, which is really nice. So I know Jericho didn't mean to, but when you think about it, when he literally punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face super hard for real, it just added fuel to that fire, and that led to the match. That led to HBK and Jericho's match at Unforgiven, that Ascension match, and also that amazing loud match I know mostly 2008. So This right here, even though it was kind of scary, but it just worked. It really worked.
Undertaker killed Edge. What a night. What a legendary night. We got the dream match that delivered. Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho blew up to a whole other level. This storyline was already so personal, already so foul, and then we got this, and you combine it with a Hell in a Cell match that delivered in every single way. Edge and Taker killing each other, and it ends with Taker grabbing Edge on top of a ladder, chokeslamming straight to hell, and somehow using his superpowers to set on fire like it's Road to WrestleMania. This was the greatest night of my life. SummerSlam 2008 was generational. Sure, there were some stinkers on there. Sure, we got Khali versus Triple H, but the highs were so damn high, and the memories that I have of this show are so special. They mean so much to me. It was a great night in every way. When you look back in time at these summer periods, usually SummerSlam used to mean that it was the end of the summer, right? It was usually the end of the hype period, the end of the period where the WWE went crazy. They hyped up SummerSlam for months and they built towards it. SummerSlam would come, it would end, and after that, I was like, all right, time to relax, time to calm down. Things usually became more chill after that, right? Usually, SummerSlam was the finale of the summer WWE period. But what made 2008 really fun, though, was that wasn't the case in 2008. And remember, technically, summer doesn't end until mid-September. 2 days after my 10th birthday, it was Unforgiven 2008, the last show of the summer of 2008. And I think we all remember why this night was special. Not only did we get the first ever championship scramble matches, and I'm pretty sure the last ever championship scramble matches, we also got the Chris Jericho Masterclass. Unforgiven 2008 was that night where Shawn Michaels finally got his hands on Chris Jericho, and after all these months of everything that happened, after his wife getting punched, after his eye almost falling out, the Juratron 5000, everything, Shawn Michaels was back with a vengeance, and he got his hands on Chris Jericho in an unsanctioned match. And for 25 minutes in a crazy hot match, in a really heated, intense, violent match, they went off. After months of being a weasel, after all the bad things Chris Jericho did, Shawn Michaels finally got his revenge on Chris Jericho. After the months of abuse, and he left Jericho completely destroyed, so bad that the referees had to come up and stop the match. How do you stop an unsanctioned match? I don't know, but I guess it has to end eventually, right? Shawn Michaels pulled up, beat the hell out of Chris Jericho, and left. And it was super satisfying. It was great to see. It was a great moment, great match, everything. And at this point, you're like, all right, damn, the storyline is over. Okay, great. Shawn Michaels got his revenge. All right, cool. It wasn't.
It wasn't
See,
over.
on the same night, CM Punk, who was the world champion, who was supposed to defend his title in the main event scramble match, got taken out by Legacy. He got busted by the Randy Orton, leading him to not be cleared for the main event. So in the main event, it was time for the championship scramble match, right? 5 men go at it in a match with a 20-minute time limit, right? 2 men start the match. Every 5 minutes, a new wrestler comes out. There can be as many pinfalls as you could possibly imagine, whatever. It keeps going. Pinfalls don't stop the match. The only thing that stops the match is the 20-minute time limit. And whoever is the last person to get a pinfall in the match wins the championship. Kind of confusing all over the place, but honestly, I kind of like the match type. I thought it was really cool and really fascinating. So the match is going on. Pinfalls are happening. At one point, Kane's the champion, then Batista becomes the champion, and Batista just trying to hold on until the 20 minutes are over so he can become champion. And everyone's like, damn, I wonder who the 5th person's going to be. CM Punk, he clearly got clapped. Who's it going to be? Out comes the man who ruled the summer of 2008, the man who just had his ass beat an hour ago, Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho pulls up an hour after this was happening to him, pulls up to the main event, and he weasels his way into becoming world heavyweight champion. And just like that, the worst night of Chris Jericho's wrestling career ends up being the best. An Unforgiven end.
Just look at this. Look at this picture. Jericho went from getting his behind kicked so badly earlier the night by Shawn Michaels. He went from getting his butt kicked to becoming the world heavyweight champion. Like Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels' feud was so hot. They had to have Chris Jericho win that world title because he was getting so much heat. He was white hot as a heel, and that was the right call. That was really the right call to put the belt on Jericho. So yeah. See, I don't agree with CM Punk being taken out of the match, but I do agree with having Chris Jericho win that world title. Like, he deserved that. Like, that feud really deserved that world heavyweight title match. So went from getting his butt kicked to becoming world champion. Chris Jericho from 2008 and 2009 was unstoppable.
ends with the summer. The summer of 2008 ends with Chris Jericho almost dying, yet on the same night becoming a world champion. This was a wild twist. I did not see this coming at all, and it was such a good one. I felt bad for Punk for getting written off like that.
Yeah, I felt bad
for
Punk
too. Had, Jericho have this done to him, have him just get destroyed, have HBK get his revenge and his lick back, and have HBK thinking he won the war, he did it. Chris Jericho finds a way and weasels his way into becoming a world heavyweight champion. Just, in my opinion, a fascinating story, a great ending to a show, a great twist that took place at the show. Just great. As the company goes into the fall, it all leads to Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho ending their rivalry for real with a world title on the line in a classic ladder match. That was the fall. We were here to talk about the summer. And what a time it was. I told you. The funnest, craziest 4-month span in the summer that I could remember. Obviously, I'm a little more nostalgic for it because of my age and what I was doing at the time, right? Because I was able to watch all the pay-per-views and everything, but this was such a fun time to be a fan, and it was such a great summer that even now, all these years later, I'm able to go back on the network and watch it, and I'm just invested. The summer of 2008 was a great time to be a wrestling fan. It was a great time to be a kid wrestling fan. Everyone thinks of this time, and everyone kind of looks down on it. They're like, oh, this was the summer when they went PG. This was the summer when they stopped bleeding, this and that. But it's like, yo, you ignore that? As a kid, I didn't even know they went PG. I didn't even notice anything. To me, yeah, they went PG. Yeah, but Edge is literally dying the next night on SummerSlam. I think it was a very underrated summer, a very underrated time period. I think the year in general is very underrated. But hey, that summer was magical. In the comments down below, let me know 2 things. 1, if you have any memories of the summer of 2008, please let me know. And 2nd, what is your summer? What is the summer that comes to your mind? When you think of being a wrestling fan and the one summer where you just hooked, where you just invested, where everything just meant a little bit more to you, what summer was that for you? Let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this trip down memory lane to the summer of 2008. I had a blast going back and watching it. I had a blast going back and making this video. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below and leave any feedback as well. It's your boy Pav. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. But until then, take it easy. Stay safe out there. Later, guys.
So yeah, the summer 2008 was definitely legendary for a lot of reasons. Like I said, like he said, the Jericho and Shawn Michaels feud, one of the greatest of all time. Undertaker on Edge, the drought. I mean, everything you could ask for 2008 was really there. Me personally, I really enjoyed the WWE in the summer 2008. I really enjoyed WWE in 2008 in general, like the winter, the fall, the spring, the summer. Everything in WWE in 2008 was so good, and I really loved it. So this was a really great video. Shout out to Wrestling Gales. He puts out really great content. And subscribe to his channel right now. But until next time, this is your boy JPTHEGLOVE74. What's y'all's favorite moment from WWE in 2008? Leave your comments down below. I hope you guys have a really great day. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and also subscribe to my channel for more wrestling content. This is JPTHEGLOVE74 signing off. God bless y'all and peace.